Hi guys, this is the first video in a small group of introduction videos that I put together for you that will help you to understand the path ahead to building your first business. It's sort of some ground rules, some lay of the land, what ballpark are we in, that kind of thing, before we dig into the exact details of how to build a business. In this first video, this is how to start a business with less risk, okay? What most new founders do is they start building and then they pray, meaning they build their business and then they figure out if the world cares about it. And that's not a good way to proceed. What we really want to do is I really want to teach you how to validate your business idea. I want you to spend a little bit of time thinking about your idea, making sure you've got a solid idea, making sure you've researched it and you've planned it as well as you can, coming up with an offer that you can communicate to people clearly that will hopefully meet their needs and give them some sort of a transformation. And we also need to figure out if the business has the potential to make the money for you that you need it to make. So we want to do a basic financial projection. This is a simple spreadsheet. It's linked over on my StartABusiness.Center website. And if you put together a simple spreadsheet like this and you figure out how many things can I sell, how much is this, how much money can I bring in, and what are my costs, and then you look at your profit down at the bottom. Sometimes people do that and they realize that the business they're building doesn't even have the potential to make them the money that they need to quit their day jobs or to like build a real business out of it. So we want to do a basic financial projection to decide if we have a good idea. It's one of the metrics that we will use to figure that out. If it turns out that it doesn't make you a lot of money or it doesn't have that potential, you'd say, wow, I'm glad I didn't spend a couple of years of my life building this business. I wish I would have known that it didn't have a lot of financial potential. Validating before building. This is where we talk to people who are our potential customers about what we're doing. Maybe we mock up a landing page, a simple website, or we even could mock up something on paper to show people if we have to. But we want to show people something and we want to see if they get excited about it. We want to see if they ask about it, if they ask more questions. When is this available? How much does it cost? And maybe they react to it. Because if you show them a website that you've built for a business, and remember, you haven't built the business yet, the business doesn't exist yet. But if you show people a website for a potential business and they look at it and they're like, okay, fine, like, and they don't have any questions and they don't care, then you're going to be like, maybe I've got a problem on my hands and maybe there's something I need to do to communicate what problem I solve better for these people. Or maybe it's just a bad idea and I'm the only one who likes it. So we are looking at as many different things as we can to figure out, is this a green light? Did people get excited about it? Did they understand it? Did they ask when it was going to be available? Maybe you share the price point with them and they say, wow, that sounds pretty good. So we want to do that. We want to do the basic financial projection. We want to talk to real potential customers. We want to sort of conduct some interviews about what sort of problems they have with whatever problem you're solving. A good question to ask people is, hey, if you had a magic wand, what would you do to solve this problem? How would you like this thing to work? Maybe you've got a yoga studio or a janitorial service, landscaping, your IT, a consultant, whatever it is. What would a perfect solution for you be if this is your problem? So have some conversations with some real potential customers. And your goal in doing all this is not to just start building. Your goal is to decide whether you've got an idea or a business that's worth building. Okay. I call this the go or no go decision. So you're going to do everything you can to figure out whether or not this has a lot of green lights or it's got red lights or yellow lights. And then you're going to make a decision. You're going to make this go or no go decision. And then you're going to fully commit to building this business if you've got enough green lights. So this is the big thing that I want you to understand about starting a business. You shouldn't just start. It should be a big question mark to you for the time being until you've done adequate research, planning, validation. And another big piece of that is you're going to need to cook up a good marketing strategy, because what you're going to learn a little bit later is that building a business is not enough. You need to have a really solid marketing strategy which is going to help you figure out how to get customers to your website or into your store or calling you or texting you, emailing you, whatever's going on. You need to figure out where you're going to get your customers. Uh, Out of all the people that I see building businesses, almost nobody, and I see hundreds and hundreds, almost nobody has a really good marketing plan. They're very focused on the business, which is fine. It's a good idea, but you really need to have a solid marketing plan. And these days, with AI, with SEO and the internet getting tougher and tougher, there are so many other competitors out there. There's so much noise out there that if you are not committed to executing on some kind of a marketing plan that's going to bring people to you, then you might be in big trouble. You might not even want to start. So, marketing plan is a big piece of this early thinking that you're doing, this planning and research that's going to lead up to your go and no go decision. So that's the big thing. The big goal is to come up with a product or service that you have validated with people. People seem to be very interested in. Maybe they've got questions. Maybe they even want to help you be test users. They want to be some of your first customers, and you want to show it to them. Build a landing page. That's landing page is a small website, and again, this business does not need to exist yet. This is kind of a smoke and mirrors test where we want to show people what you've got. You may even dummy up your product, meaning get like a 3D person to make a version of your product that you can look at, and it looks like it's brand, it looks like it's real, or dummy up some screens so that your app looks real or your service looks real. Some photos, of your yoga studio, whatever it is that you're doing. Show these things to people and ask them what their thoughts are. Are you interested? Would you be willing to pre-sign up for this thing as soon as I have it ready? So that's the big thing I want to get across to you about how to start a business with less risk. It's that we remove a lot of these variables. We do planning, research, we do validation, we do a basic financial projection, we talk to people, we put up a landing page. You could even run ads to your landing page without your business really existing. You could run Google or Meta ads to your landing page, and that will tell you a lot. Are people willing to click on the ad? Are they interested? How many people click? One or two, or like a lot? And once they get to your landing page, do they scroll all the way down to the bottom of it? Do they read the whole thing? Do they click on the learn more button? Do they click on the add to cart button? Do they just bounce right off your website the minute that they get there, or do they spend some time looking at it? All of these things are part of the validation and the testing. And this is what I want you to do before you get started. Something else I didn't talk about yet is the idea of the minimum viable product, the MVP. This is a minimally functional version of whatever your product is. It's something without a lot of bells and whistles. It's probably not very perfect, but it's something that people can maybe see and feel or experience, depending on whether you have a product or a service. And it gives you a chance to let people interact with your product or your service. If you make clothes, they can put the clothes on, they can wear them, they can look at them. If you make food, they can taste your food. Whatever it is that you're doing, giving customers a chance to try it first and see what they think. Oh, this is really good. Like, when can I do this again? Or where can I get some more? That is a really good idea. And it's a really big part of the validation process before you get to the go or no go decision. Another really important part about how to build a business with lower risk is to bootstrap your business. That means to build the business without taking on debt or loans or anything like that. Basically, be scrappy and see if you can figure out how to build at least the earliest version of your business with whatever money you've got. Maybe you have some, maybe you've saved a little, maybe you've got an aunt or an uncle willing to lend you a little, or a parent or a brother or sister, who knows. Maybe you even run up a little bit of credit card debt. It's not my favorite. But don't go out and get a loan. A lot of people make the mistake when they are starting their first business of thinking that the way you do this is you go out to a bank, you get a loan. Now I've got this loan for, like, 30 grand, 40 grand, some big number. And now I could live off this and I could build my business. That's not how it works. No business is going to give you a big loan unless you've got a real track record in business, and you're sort of already kind of a pro at it. They're not going to give you a big loan. And certainly, you don't want to start living off of any loan that you might be able to get. You want to keep your day job and you want to bootstrap, which means you do it scrappy, you do it on the cheap. You're going to need that money later on for marketing primarily, and probably a lot of other things, maybe paying people to do things like programming or help you build your business. So keep your day job and bootstrap. In the next video, we're going to go deeper and we're going to really learn what we need to do. So stick around. Go to the next video.